Hey, thanks for tuning in to Twang and Bang. There are definitely shooters out there that can run a bolt gun as fast as I can run a gas gun. I cannot run a bolt gun as fast as I can run my Wilson Combat Super Sniper, but this target might be exactly what I need to practice that because it gives me 4 different size aiming points, each with its own feedback, without forcing me to change my position, which kind of erases the advantage that a gas gun has over a bolt gun in the first place. It's the precision rifle rack from shootsteel.com, and it's designed to give you a lot of the advantages of like a pistol rack in a stand that's about the same size as what you'd have to run to hang just 1 large gong or 2 small gongs. And it's what's coming up next on Twang and Bang. Shootsteel.com based their precision rifle rack on their portable gong stands, but built in a way that allows you to hang 4 targets from a stand that would otherwise hold only 1 or 2 gongs. The targets themselves also greatly simplify the mounting process while fully protecting the swinging mechanism from damage. The rack comes with 1 10-inch, 1 8-inch, 1 6-inch, and 1 4-inch target, which are easily assembled using a pair of 19mm wrenches. The plates on the standard rifle rack are 3/8-inch AR-500 steel and are rated to 308. These are the Magnum Plates, which are 1/2-inch AR-500 steel rated to 300 Win Mag. It's only a $40 upgrade for the Magnum Plates, and I think it's worth it just because they'll last longer regardless of what caliber you're shooting. All steel targets are consumable, meaning that they will wear out during normal use and will not last forever. Like all shootsteel.com designs, the precision rifle rack is built with this in mind. The targets can be flipped when needed to give you a fresh shooting surface, and every single part on this target is available individually should you need replacements. Regardless, shootsteel.com still offers a generous warranty covering anything that fails sooner than it should. With AR-500 steel protecting the mounting brackets, you're going to be doing a lot of shooting before having to replace any of the more expensive parts in this kit. This is how all of the included pipes, plates, and spacers go together, and just like assembling one of their gong stands, it's pretty fast and easy once you know what to do. Put one of the leg brackets into the cross piece, then flip it upside down. The spacers include 3 long and 1 short sections, so make sure you're paying attention here. First, put on a long spacer, then the 10-inch target. You're going to have to ease the target along the cross piece so it doesn't bind. And note that I don't really care that the leg bracket is digging in the dirt. Every piece of this target is going to see way more abuse when shot than anything you're going to do during assembly. Next goes on another long spacer, then the 8-inch target, then a short spacer, then the 6-inch target, then another short spacer, then the 4-inch target, then finish with the last long spacer. Attaching the other leg bracket locks all of the spacers and targets in place. You might need to wiggle things a little bit to get the spacers and targets stacked tightly enough to reveal the bracket mounting hole. All that's left is putting on the included legs, which are made from EMT electrical conduit that you can find in any builder supply store. Unlike the rebar you might find on similar stands, you'd have to shoot one of these legs a lot before making it weak enough to be replaced. But if you did, it's just a few dollars and drilling a set of holes to get you back in business. Conduit is also a lot lighter and easier to manage than rebar and won't get rust all over your hands every time you put the stand together. From cutting open the boxes to getting a fully assembled target took less than 10 minutes, and I was able to do it all on my tailgate. I'm going to hit these with some fresh paint and see what they look like when hit with some rounds. I'm starting out with my Bergara LRP Elite in 6.5 Creedmoor simply because it was easiest to grab for my truck. I wasn't zeroed for this American Eagle ammo, so it's hitting a little bit to the right. That's fun.
With a small adjustment, I'm having no problems hitting right where I want, and that's part of the advantage of having big plates and small plates on the same rack. The big plates give you a lot of area to see where you're hitting, and the small plates test your technique. Each of these spinners is heavier than an equivalent gong, so I notice that I'm not getting quite as much movement for the same kind of hits, especially at the top edge of the paddle. This is both good and bad. Bad because it might be harder to call hits at longer ranges, but good because the spinners stop moving sooner than gongs. That said, it's nice having 4 targets on one stand instead of the usual 1 or 2. And the long legs means that the stand is rock steady even when all the plates are swinging at the same time. I'm not ready to give up my gongs, but this rack will probably be my go-to precision rifle target.
I love that. I love this rifle too. And it's crazy, this American Eagle ammo. You know, I'm shooting around the targets a little bit on purpose. Some of it is just me being fast because I know I'm going to hit the target anyway. When your target's that big and you're on the clock, which of course I'm not here, you just want to make sure you're on the target somewhere and pull the trigger. Let's try 308 now. Gas guns are nice. That 308 hits harder than 6.5 for sure. With a gas gun, you can make up for lack of accuracy with volume. Rate of fire. That's a fun target. It's like shooting a pistol plate rack. And I think with a gas gun, it's really cool because you can run it so fast. But you can run it fast enough that you got to wait for the targets to stop swinging before you can hit it again. It's not as big a deal with targets, plates that hang from chains. But it just means a little bit more patience. And actually, you can learn about timing shots better. Well, I got the targets home and set up again with a fresh coat of paint because that'll let us see what the real damage is on these plates versus what kind of looks like damage just from the bullet splash. I didn't really see a whole lot of damage on any of these plates. There are a few little pock marks, small dents, and this is from, I don't know how many hundreds of rounds on that one. Same thing with this. I don't really see anything on this plate. On this plate, I see one little edge hit, which I'm going to get to in a minute, and another pock mark. And then on this plate, I see two significant edge hits. But those, I don't think those were from me. I think those were from, I had two other guys shooting these after I did my preliminary video. And one of the guys, he was way over on the right, so his bullets were coming in at this angle. So I think when he hit the edge, there just wasn't a lot of edge to stop the bullet. The edges are the weakest part of any steel target, but shootsteel.com CNC laser cuts their target steel instead of using a plasma cutter. So their edges tend to be a whole lot stronger, but it's still gonna be the weakest part, and you're still gonna see stuff like this if you hit right on the edge, especially from an angle. But I've never had any problems with any of my shootsteel.com targets, and I don't expect I'm going to have any problems with these. I appreciated having these 4 different sizes on one rack a whole lot more than I thought I would going into the testing. The 10-inch strike face gave me a chance to see that with my American Eagle shooting out of the LRP Elite, I was off quite a bit to the right. So I was able to make my adjustments and be able to hit very consistently on the 6-inch and on the 4-inch plate by the time I got over there. The other thing that as I've already mentioned is it allows you to practice on your speed without having to adjust your position. So really you're just trying to keep the target in sight while running the bolt, and by making slight adjustments in your point of aim, you're not hitting a gong that's already swinging or a single target that's already moving and maybe misjudge whether or not you got a follow-up hit. The long paddle arms, some people have said, well, you've got all of this cheating that you can do hitting up high. if you're practicing enough, you're not going to be hitting this high unless something's really wrong. And I found that there's just not a whole lot of movement. Even if you hit high on the paddle, you're not getting nearly as much movement as you would with a gong anyway. You're going to be able to tell if you didn't get a good hit because it's just not going to move a whole lot. That's not an issue for me. But this actually gives somebody who doesn't necessarily have a number of berms at different yardages a chance to really dial in their precision shooting. You don't get the advantage of shooting at farther distances for judging wind, but by going from a bigger target to a smaller target, it makes you focus really, really hard on getting a very good clean trigger pull. The precision rifle rack, the standard, is $360 and this Magnum is $400. I'll just tell you, I would only buy the Magnum, even if you're only going to shoot 308 or 5.56 at it, because the extra thickness of the steel means it's going to last a whole lot longer. $40 is worth the investment, and the extra weight of having these is not enough that I would ever really want to get the standard rifle rack. Be sure to use code TWANGnBANG though to save money, and be sure to click the link in the video description below to see where you can get one. Be sure to follow me on Facebook and Instagram. You can see the links right here, and be sure to click right here to subscribe so you can catch my next videos on bows, guns, and other cool stuff. I really appreciate you watching TWANGnBANG, and I hope to see you next time.